What is up, everyone? My name is Mr. J, and today I am bringing you a Digimon deck profile. So I went to Good Games Locals on Wednesday. Check it out if you guys want to. It's on the north side of Chicago. Pretty cool. But I managed to get first place, and it was Sakuyamon. I want to talk about the deck profile and, you know, my choices for the deck during this format, but also the changes I'm going to make for the Kazuhamon that's coming out next, well, on Friday, release date, right, for BT24. So let's start us off. We're doing 4 Viximon, of course. I have seen people run the old Vixie, but I think being able to evo for a reduced 3 cost is pretty good. And that's just like you get free evo into your level 2, free evo into your level 5, sometimes free evo into your level 6 if it's not maid mode, right? So it's really good just using an option card. You get to, yeah, it's pretty much the green plugin, but better, honestly. So I understand the green plugin was more for consistency because that's also a draw card, and it also, you can reduce evo cost Digivolve. But yeah, I think the Viximon is the clear choice. I would like the draw, but we have ways of getting around the lack of draw power. So moving on to the rookies, we run, of course, 4 Renamon. This is the best Rena. I believe it's BT17. Yeah, just on play, reveal top 3. You get to add anything in archetype except Renamons. And then the more important part is that you can add the Rika or a 2 cost or higher option card, which means it's not just the plugins. So you can add trainings, you can add boosts, you can add scrambles, you can add the mandalas, which is the most important card in the deck. That's why this is really, really good. So 4 copies of that. Next up, we have 2 copies of the very old EX2 Renamon that's on play, reveal top 4. You get to add anything in archetype, of course, not itself, not Renamon, and also a Rika. This one dropped it down to 2 because it does bottom deck your option cards, and your option cards are very important in this deck, so you would rather draw than search half the time, which is why I like this Rena, because it will not bottom deck your option cards. Moving on, more rookies. We have 2 of the starter deck Rena. I know some people don't like this Renamon. I really want to bump it up to 3 copies because it's just, when moving on play, you trash 1 card in your hand, and then you can return 1 option card with the plugin trait or the mandala, right, to your hand, which is really good. It's kind of like the Kazuhamon effect that's coming up, except the Kazuhamon's on play, you get to use it from hand or trash, right? So it's different than just adding it back to your hand. But sometimes I want to bump it up because there are times where your stack will not have barrier, and which is really important. Even though we run the blue plugin, the barrier is really important. If your opponent is trying to swing over it on their turn, you have the barrier. Mandala protects from Digimon card effects or card effects in general, but it doesn't protect from battle, right? So you have to, for me, it's important to have the barrier in the stack, is what I'm trying to say. And then just 1 copy of Sakuya, Rena X. So I wanted to talk about this. I might be crazy, but I wanted to cut the old Rena completely. And then for each one, like this one Renamon here, I'll put a starter deck Renamon, and then I'll put an extra Renamon X. That's what I wanted to do. I know that may be crazy because we're cutting down the number of searchers, and I think the inheritable is pretty good. But like I said, I think the barrier is important, and also getting that minus 2k, which this inheritable does. So Renamon X, your turn, when you use an option card with 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2k. Sometimes, like, I would just want to do minus 2k to get a rookie in the trash, you know, just delete a rookie. And this deck doesn't have DP reduction like the old Sakuyamon, so I really like the Renamon X. There is a debate whether to use the starter deck Rena or the Rena X, but I think both are pretty good. Like I said, I would cut down this Renamon, just remove it completely, add a 3rd Rena starter deck, add a Rena X, a 2nd Rena X. Because I think they're both good to get the copies back from the trash. Like, honestly, I'm playing more control style and not a OTK variant, which is why I like the recursion. And you'll see my top end right now why I'm saying that. But let's move on to the champs. For the champs, not too much, obviously. We have 4 of the new QB from the starter deck and 2 of the old QB from BT19 that plays a Rika from your hand. So I would watch Eagle's Nest and I saw Tessero play his list. I think Tessero was running like one less rookie and then one less champ and then one less ultimate, which was insane, dude. Like I got frustrated because I don't know how the dude took first place at Eagle's Nest, because I was just like, dude, I never see my pieces. Like, yeah, you're running 4 trainings, but I saw him one time break and I was just like, nah, dude, like you need to play more rookies, play more champs. I know this deck, it's really hard because you need to run options, but I think 6 champs, way too little, dude, way too little. I think he was running one less rookie. I don't know how my boy was doing it, but Tessero was a good player, so that I tried his build, didn't like it, and then so now I'm running 7 QB. This QB is the best one because just when moving, when Digivolving, you get to reveal top 3, and you add anything within the archetype, and that's pretty good, right? And it also has the inheritable barrier just in case you missed it on the Rena. This QBmon, I used to think it was trash, but it's so useful, especially since we're playing the starter deck, or not the starter deck. We're playing the Rika from EX2, right? This one. So it's really good to play out the memory setter. So I really like it. And then this one also has the same inheritable as Rena X, where you do minus 2k. So again, stacking up that minus DP reduction is also really good. 7 copies. I've seen people run 8 of the champs, and I think that's doable. You can run 8 if you want. It'd just be very difficult to find the space. And then for my level 5s, we are running 4 Taomon from the starter deck, and then 2 Taomon from EX2. So with this list, level 5s, best Taomon, right? When Digivolving non-play, you do minus 3k, and your opponent can't activate 1 when Digivolving effect. But when attacking, most importantly, you can use a plug-in trait card or I can't pronounce it, so I'm gonna say mandala, right? The mandala or the plug-in trait, right? So it doesn't work with the old option cards, which is very unfortunate. I don't know why Bandai did that. I'm assuming they didn't want Sakuya to be too powerful, but yeah, you can play the old option cards with this effect. But playing out the 6-cost mandala is pretty good, so you always want to see this. And then the inheritable is really good for OTK. End of attack by trashing your top security card. One of your Digimon with Sakuyamon in its name unsuspends. I like that it's end of attack, not when attacking, because depending on what comes out of your opponent's security, you can choose not to unsuspend, which I think is really good. And obviously, if your opponent removes it, if you hit something in security and you already trashed your own security, that's, oh my god, worst value. So I like that it's end of attack because you get to choose after the attack ended whether or not you want to activate the effect, right? Depending on what's on your opponent's board after you check security. And then the Taomon from EX2. This used to be the BT17, BT19, the one that's was infamous in the last Sakuya meta deck. I didn't like it because the old Taomon, it's reduced play cost for the plugin, and most of your plugins are 2 or higher or 3 or higher. So then you're obviously going to Digivolve into the Taomon, play an option card for free, and then you're gonna pay more memory, even though it's reduced cost. I didn't like it. So I put this one. It used to be the Ace as well. The Ace didn't work out because I'm also playing Sakuya Ace. So Sakuya Ace plus the Taomon Ace, you could overflow 6 memory, which is not good. So I settled on this one, and honestly, it's really good. The inheritable, same thing. When you use an option card with 2 costs or more, do minus 2k. So I'm stacking up the DP reduction here. But also when Digivolving, it's not capped. You may play 1 Rika from your hand without paying the cost, which I really love because I up the count of Rikas, and yeah, I love this one. Not ideal, but this is definitely the second best Taomon that I want to go into if I don't have this one. Again, just player preference, but she really helped me out, this Taomon, during the tournament. Let's move on to the Megas. For the Megas, we are running 4 Sakuya. Oh, you can't really see that. 4 Sakuya Maid Mode, 2 Sakuya Ace, 1 Sakuya from BT19, and then 2 Sakuya X Sentai Body. This was my level 6 lineup. It has changed for a bit. Before, I used to not run Sakuya X at all, and I ran Chaosmon Balderarm because of the on-play stun. But this is the ratio I settled on. I wanted a mix of control and aggro, so this is what I settled on. Sakuya main mode, I do like it at 3 copies. I actually get really scared if I don't see it in one of my starting games because I think she's such a great control tool. So the main mode is when digivolving or on play, you may use one option card with the mandala or plug-in trait from your hand or under your tamers without paying the cost. Oh, and then maybe you can see it. And then when you use option cards or your security stack is removed from, by placing one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP as the bottom security card, trash the top security. I did kind of mess up in the tournament because I thought whenever security cards are removed, like the Mastermon, the effect triggers, but it's only your security stack that triggers the effect. But she's so good, like so good. She gets around so much protection, like on deletion effects gets around it. Can't be bottom decked to deck or return to hand gets around it. The only thing she doesn't get around with is like if this Digimon will leave the battle area, obviously they're protected. But Sakuyamon went like pound for pound with Mastermon. You'll see the match when I uploaded it, but that was like a really back and forth grinding matchup, and it was main mode versus Mastermon from BT23, like just going at it, dude, duking it out, and it was really cool to see. So I like the main mode at 3 copies for the control aspect. Next one, Sakuya Ace. Sakuya Ace, I cut her actually for the one that does -6k and then can't be returned to hand or decks. Yeah, so I cut it for that one, but this one's so good for the aggro, and then obviously being able to ace, play out the token, the blocker token, and being able to use an option card with this mandala or plug-in trait when attacking, when digivolving, on play, whatever it is. The fact that you can use it more than once per turn is really good. I like the when attacking effect to continuously play out the blocker token, but also continuously use like mandalas from your hand. That's why she was really good. Which leads me to my next, I guess, point of contention for me is the Sakuyamon from BT19. This is the limited one, and I think that honestly I would like to cut her for the ace, a 3rd copy of the ace, but the when did you want me to draw 2 and then use an option card that doesn't have to be the plug-in trait from your hand, just when digivolving is really good. I think the draw 2 is amazing, and then your turn, obviously when you use an option card with 2 or more, you get to play out the same Pipe Fox token that the Sakuya Ace can play out. So I like it. I mean, I don't know if like I said, I'm trying to see if I can play the 3rd Sakuya Ace because I didn't like Sakuya Ace before, but that's only because I was running the Tamer Ace, and I think they kind of conflicted with each other. But I like the draw power. I think if I could have a little bit more draw power in the deck, I would cut this one and then play the 3rd Sakuya Ace. And then Sakuyamon X Antibody, I used to run it at 2 copies, then 1 copy, then 0 copies, and then I put it back in the deck because I was actually talking to my friend Jesus about it. Like in this day and age, you need to be able to swing for game. Like I was doing most of the control-y stuff, but giving my opponent that 1 extra turn to come out of raising, to use all the boosts and all the unique emblems, what have you, it's just not working out. So I played this as a game ender. And also Sakuya X is just really good at applying pressure since it plays the rush token. You swing the rush token, and if this is already suspended, you can play an option card. Again, doesn't have to be locked into the plug-in trait or the mandala, and it unsuspends. So most of the time you'll be doing 3 checks with Sakuya X with this body in general on that turn, which is really good. Sometimes 4 checks if, yeah. The lines of play here is crazy because like I said, Sakuya Ace, I didn't even mention it, but it has Alliance. It has Alliance, so you can swing Alliance, and then you do 2 checks at really big. Right, so you do 2 checks. Maybe if you get to unsuspend with the Talmon, you swing if there's another body, you do 4 checks, and then you can go ahead and digivolve into Sakuya X. Sakuya X, play another token, swing with the rush token, play out an option card, and then this one's unsuspend. So you're doing, is that 6 checks? 6 checks in one go? That's a lot. So that's why I really like the Sakuya Ace, and I think Sakuya X is really good as your Omnimon for game, if you will, right? But let's move on to the option cards. I like this ratio. Like I said, if anything, I would debate cutting this. And I think we could talk about the Kazuhamon now for BT24. I honestly don't know if I'm going to play it, because I don't know what I'm going to cut. I would, like maid mode here, I don't think I'm going to cut her because she's so good. And then the Sakuya Sakuya Ace is so good for applying pressure and just like board control in general that I really like her as well. Like maybe I could cut this one for the Kazuhamon, but the only thing I like about the Kazuhamon that's coming on BT24 as the promo is that you can use the option cards from your trash. So if there's a mandala in trash, you can use the mandala. You use a red plugin or blue plugin, what have you. And yeah, it's that's the only thing, right? But I think value-wise, the Sakuya Ace is better because the Kazuhamon, you only use the option card one time and that's it. This one, it's when digivolving again and when attacking every single turn, you can use an option card from your hand, as long as it's the plug-in trade or the mandala. So this is a continuous value, while the Kazuhamon is just like one turn, and the thing is you get to use it from trash, right? I'm still gonna pick up the Kazuhas because I really like this deck. If you notice, I tend to stick to like the Tamer's Digimon Season 3 decks. But like I said, I really like these. I really like this deck. It's really cool. I like the structure deck. For our Tamers, we are running 3 copies of the Rika from EX2, the old one, and then 3 copies of the Rika, or 4 copies of the one from there's a glare there that's gonna bother me. 4 copies of the Rika that's from BT19. So I actually used to run 3 and 3, but I bumped it up because of this Talmon, right? Because this Talmon when Digivolve just plays out another one. I want to talk specifically because this one, you know, this is the best Rika, right? This is the one revealed top 3. You get to add a plugin, and then you get to add anything in the archetype, even the Renamon. So it's really good. And then when you use an option card to a cost or more, you can suspend it to gain a memory. Amazing. I don't think we need to talk about too much about this Rika from BT19, but this one, the memory setter. So I don't like the starter deck Rika. I do like this one from EX2 because it sets you to 3. And then when you attack with a Digimon with Renamon, it can be the rookie, Renamon, Cubimon, Talmon, or Sakuya in his name. You may suspend this Tamer, use one option card with plugin in its name, not the trait. So this, you can use the new plugins, you can use the old plugins, and it's just when attacking, you get to suspend it to use it. I don't like the Rika from the advanced starter deck because that one is just, it doesn't gain you a memory. If you don't have the option cards in your hands, the plugins or the mandalas, it's just a dead card. You don't get the memory, you don't get to draw the card. I can't stand not being able to tuck something under with that card. I hate playing out for 4 and then not getting value off that card. This one I play it for 4, it sets me to 3 the rest of the game. So even if I slam it down turn 1, on my turn, I'm guaranteed 3 memory for the rest of that game. And like I said, I'm playing a more control build, so I get plenty of value with it. And this one actually won me the last match versus Justmon because I played it out with the Cubimon, and then I was able to swing the QB and use the option card for my hand. The other Rika, like it has to be the same level or above to use certain option cards, which I also don't like that stipulation. That you have to meet that requirement to be a certain level in order to use the certain play cost of option card. It's ridiculous. This one was really good. Like I said, I really like it, and I've had the Altards for a long ass time, so I like that I was able to use them. We'll probably start putting the option cards on top of these. So 4 mandala. We have 4 mandala here. Obviously the best option card in the deck. It gives you protection. And so when it's trash, you do minus 9k to something, right? But it's anything. It protects your Renamon, it protects your QB, Tao, Sakuya. Anything in the name would leave the battle area. You can trash this card, and then one of those Digimon does not leave. And the main effect, when you play it, you get to draw a card. So it's really good playing it off the Ace or playing it off the Talmon. You get to draw a card, then put in your security. It's essentially a recovery +1, and then if you don't have to use a protection, it's just recovery +1, right? But if your opponent procs it and then you have to trash it, you do minus 9k, which is good against boards where they're trying to set up their second line. Like a lot of times versus Mastermon, they would have the Angel Woman out or Lady Devi. They would have to trigger, they would try to get rid of the main mode and then trigger Mandala, and I would just like blow up their level 5, right? So it was really nice. Moving on to the best plugin, in my opinion, is the blue plugin. So high speed blue plugin, it's just it gains jamming as inheritable. You gain 2k on all turns because of the link, but also you prevent a Digimon or Tamer from suspending until the end of your turn. until you enter your opponent's turn. So a lot of times I would freeze the blocker and then just swing for game. And even then, it's just good to give jamming to the little guys. Sometimes I would play this out with Sakuya Ace, then Alliance, and obviously I was swinging for like 17k, 19k in one check. But then I would give the plugin to a small body, like to a rookie, so I can swing jamming and then ensure it lives. So I really like the plugin H. It's really good because a lot of times your opponent sometimes doesn't want anything on board, so they can activate their scrambles and whatnot. So yeah, I like the plugin, and best plugin for sure. Best plugin for sure. Now here's my tech. I am not running the red plugin. I am running 2 defense plugin, and this is the old defense plugin C. So defense plugin C is main until the end of your opponent's turn. One of your Digimon gains blocker and reboot, and cannot be deleted by your opponent's card effects until the end of your opponent's turns. This is so good. Like I was talking to my friend Jesus about this. Obviously, he's the one who suggested Sakuya X back in the deck, but he saw the plugin C. He's like, oh, you already have the protection with the mandala. Like, why do you need this card? And you have no idea. Like, I faced versus Magnetic Dramon, I faced versus Beelzemon. There are decks that can delete you like 3 times over, dude. 3 times over. You're not gonna have enough mandalas in the security to do that. So this is just an extra layer of protection. Like, I faced Beelzemon round 1 with this deck, and my boy could have deleted me 4 times over. He could have deleted my Sakuya Ace like 4 times over, and he couldn't do it because the plugin C prevented him from deleting from card effects. So I really like it for that defensive aspect, and yeah, it's just really good. It protects you into security too. Obviously, if you're swinging to security and something deletes your Digimon, you can't because you activate the plugin C. How do you activate this though? If the Sakuya Ace doesn't let you use it and main mode doesn't let you use it, you actually use it using the EX2 Rika effect. When attacking, you can tap it to use the plugin C. Also, you can use the old Sakuyamon to play this out for free because it is 5 costs or less, right? And it's a plugin. I really like it, and the security effect actually did come up. Security effect reveal top 3 cards. You may play one Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less without paying the cost, and then you get to add it to your hand. So I think the last game versus Jesmon, I was able to play out, I think it was a Renamon, and that gave me like the extra body for game, basically, that last like game 3. And then my last plugin, one defense plugin C or F, I didn't like it. Honestly, the entire tourney, I wish the plugin F was the red option card, because even though main mode gets rid of stuff that's lowest DP, I really wish I had this one so I could play the main mode or digivolve the main mode, play the red option card, delete like a level 4, level 5, and then main mode would delete the big body. That's a scenario I wish happened so many times. So many times. So this is definitely coming out, and I'm putting the red option card. I actually have it right here. I'm putting the red option card back in. I would like to make room so that it's 2 copies, but like I said, I think the plugin H is the best card, and I wouldn't drop it down. And then my last 2 options, only 2 physical training. So I cut one of the physical trainings. It used to be 4. I cut one of the physical trainings for the extra Tamer here because I thought Rika was better. Since Rika allows you to use the option cards, I thought it was important for you to have the Rika on board. So instead of physical training, I cut it down for an extra Rika, and then I cut another physical training for this defense plugin F. Like, you could do what you want. If you're okay with just this amount of option cards, then you can throw in the extra physical training. Though I do think physical training is good because it gets you the mandalas. I think if you're running a heavy ace count, then it makes more sense to use the memory boost instead of the physical training. So it's really up to you. You could probably run 2 and 2. 2 boosts, 2 training, and I think that would be appropriate. But yeah, this is my first place deck profile. I think there were 9 people, 3 rounds. I faced Beelzemon the first match, and that was pretty intense, but he also bricked game 2 and 3. I try to make my deck as consistent as possible so that I don't brick. That's just like my OCD. I was like, no. And it makes sense. If you're a newer player and you're watching this, if you're going to a tourney, like, your job is not to win 1 match. Your job is to win all the matches consistently. And I know that you're like, what? Well, of course. But you have to make your deck as consistent as possible so that you are not breaking every single round, right? Or you have to try to decrease the chances of you breaking, is what I'm trying to say. So I know the ratios may sound weird, but you have to make sure you don't break, right? Like I said, Tessero was running less champions, less ultimates, and he did lose that one round versus Magnetic. I think the last match I saw from the tourney, like 2 or 3 weeks back. But it's because he didn't see his piece, right? Like you have to make sure you're running the adequate amount of level 4s, adequate amount of level 5s. You have to make sure you have your option cards to search. So yeah, make it as consistent as possible, and then I promise you'll be in top 4. Top 4 at minimum, if it's a good deck, right? Anyways, yes, this is deck profile. Stay tuned for the matches. If you guys have questions, just let me know in the comment section down below. Like I said, for BT24, I might just cut the Sakuya BT19 for Kazuhamon, but I like the Sakuya Ace. I like the aggro that it gives. So yeah, if you have questions, let me know in the comment section down below. But if you like the video, I know this is pretty long already, it's 26 minutes, but if you guys like the video, then make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. My name is Mr. J. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.